Thanks for staying with us. You're still on to Good Morning Nigeria on the network service of the NTA. It's now time for newspaper review.
All right, our newspaper reviewer, Chukwudi Abuja, is he among us? Yes, he is. Red cap, chief, or brown cap?
Talk to the man who gives you glasses. You need to change what you have on. Is that clear? Demola, how are you doing, my dear?
I'm doing great. Did you experience the shower of blessing this morning?
Oh, yes, I did. And it had a cooling effect on me.
Okay.
Be careful. These may be some of the last rains. You may not see the rain after 3 weeks.
The prophet has spoken.
No, it's seasonal. I don't have to be magical.
Okay. How are you today?
I'm okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Let's begin. And I have the Leadership Friday here to start with. And the major headline here reads, Ensure credible elections, new National Electoral Chief Amukwiton urged. How law professor was chosen as independent National Electoral Commission's chair at Council of State meeting. An African Democratic Congress, Yaga Africa, Transition Monitoring Group, others react. And that's the major story on page 8. Above that story, which is just below the nameplate, after World Bank's warning of rising poverty in Nigeria, manufacturers, economists prefer solutions is on page 18. And President pardons Herbert Macaulay, Vatsa, Ken Saruwalawan, others. You find details of that on page 7. To sports, 2026 World Cup qualifiers, Super Eagles will fight till the end. That's credited to skipper Troost Ekong, and that story is on page 29. And the picture story details the turnover, the electoral umpires, chief electoral umpires of the country. From time, I see 1987, 1980, 1976, by the way, 64, 66. All right, to date. And at the bottom of the front page of the Leadership, Senate suspends 2026 budget consideration over accountability concerns. You got details on page 27. And tackle instability in North, WFP tells government on page 22. 12 arrested over a Rise TV anchor guard's murder. It's on page 27. And Tinubu Anyoku mourn as business icon Christopher Kolade dies at 92. You get details of that on page 23. And off to the Nigerian pilot we go. Sabotage is the major headline here in red. Reps probe $18 billion spent on non-functional refineries due to alleged sabotage and vandalism. The FG-owned refineries at Kaduna, Port Harcourt, Warri that have been moribund for years. Parliament expressed worry over persistent non-functionality of the refineries. It mandated its relevant committees to investigate funds spent on them between 2010 and 2024. That big story is on page 8. Above that, you have court adjourns Yahya Bello's money laundering trial until November 12, which is just below the nameplate. FCT police arrest 12 suspects linked to murder of Arise TV anchor on page 5. Aviation Ministry to commence personnel audit, skills gap analysis to boost efficiency on page 9. Police post tinted glass permit enforcement on page 7. Abbas seeks end to sexual harassment on campuses is on page 7. And finally, Nigeria loses $3.3 billion to oil theft. Sabotage, says Nati. And you get details of that on page 7. Ademola.
Okay, I have the Daily Times newspaper with me, and just above that nameplate, we have Council of State approves Tinubu's request to free 175 inmates. And below the nameplate, Senate anticipates delay in 2026 budget presentation raises concern. Details of that headline story is on page 9. Tinubu appoint Professor Amukwiton as new INEC chairman. Details on page 2. Reps moved to probe NECO's budgets, IGR implementation. Then you have PDP not disturbed by alleged defection plans of Governor Diri to APC spokesperson. Details of that story can be found on page 2. FRSC to launch upgraded driver's license number plate system. Details of that story, it's on page 14. Then we have Daily Trust. Israel, Hamas signed Gaza ceasefire. FCT Council withdraws TV radio levy. How the new income tax will affect you. Details of that story can be found on page 6. And we still have the Amokwito and his records. Tinubu pardoned Vasta, Farouk Lawan and others. Christopher Koladi dies at 92. Reps probe $18 billion spent on refineries. APC disqualifies 2 Ekiti governorship aspirants dissolved Enugu ESCO. Chooks.
You mentioned one I should be interested in because we're involved. Who really should collect radio TV levy? Matter for another day. This great ego, this great administrator. I'm not starting on a morbid note. I'm starting on a sterling note. Christopher Kolade, may God receive him in his bosom.
Man.
The man stood tall, whichever way you looked at it. Trust Chukudi, I had a special place in my heart for the quality of his English. You know, professor of everything.
Yeah.
He was great.
He was.
May he rest in peace.
I remember my late mentor, Chief Bode Alalade, once told me that there was a time he went to read the news, and after the news, he just got a call from who? Christopher Kolade. He said, Bode, how do you pronounce that word? Pronounce it again.
Yes.
He said, no, that's not the pronunciation. That's where the stress pattern is not there. I said, wow.
There was another person too. He had a way of lecturing them on the pronunciation. So after playing this classical music, this announcer, I won't mention his name, was confronted by Christopher Kolade. Next time you Beethoven him, I'm going to bee you out of these studios. He didn't pronounce Beethoven correctly. Look, those were the days. Now everything done jaga jaga, you know.
2 minutes. Okay.
Ensure credible elections. New National Electoral Chief Amokwito urged. That's a good one. He has not scaled the hurdle yet. Remember that the Senate has to screen him. But for the Council of State to have approved him is a step forward.
He has scaled half the hurdle.
Oh, the Senate has done.
He has scaled half the hurdle.
Oh, half of it. Yes. He would always put a comma in whatever I do. Okay. Now, the things that are important to Nigerians are, is he a man of integrity? How much can he withstand pressure or heat? Is he self-asserting when he thinks he's right and all that? We must keep on endeavoring to have more and more credible elections in the days ahead. But I'm sure that the government has done its due diligence. That's why this law professor of the University of Jos, was taken.
But before we let you go, just a moment, the other big story there is the pardon for, briefly, the pardon of Herbert Macaulay and the likes of
my journalist half cynical mind, they are skeptical. Saw that some of them had died, were actually killed, and you say, oh, they pardoned him. The man was killed and all that. But the important thing is their name has been cleared from the book of criminality. So that's very important.
Lastly,
yes,
Eagles are playing today. Eagles are playing today.
Demola. I think newspaper review is over.
Is a must-win. Is a must-win match.
I wave the green, white, green any time I can. But when it comes to those
must-win.
Since you have declared the newspaper review over,
is a
who are we to
must-win.
say no?
We're playing Lesotho.
Thank you very much. Let's thank him
we
for
wish
his
us
time.
luck.
And let's watch
On the
and
pitch.
support the Super Eagles.
Yes.
Have a great day, Chukwudi, and a great weekend too.
Thank you.
We'll see you again on Monday.
Thanks a lot.
Good morning, Nigeria returns after this break with a conversation proper. Please don't go away.